Sairam. The year was 2003. The Indian cricket team that would be playing the World Cup tournament in South Africa in the February and March of 2003 had just been announced. As a team, India was among the favorites to win that World Cup. In fact, when we revisit history and look back, we realize that India actually made it to the finals of the tournament, losing to the eventual champions, Australia. But even as the team was announced, it came as a big shock to one of the most talented, skilled and beautiful players in Indian cricket history. This was a very, very special player, and nobody was able to believe that such a player was not selected to play such an important tournament. I am speaking about the very, very special, the VVS Laxman. Yes, VVS Laxman is no ordinary player. In fact, at that point in time, the shock that he would have felt would have been much more intense, because just a few months earlier, he had played the innings of his life. The 281 not out that he scored for a winning cause in a historic test match against the same arch rivals Australia in the city of Calcutta, Eden Garden Stadium. That knock, that innings has been considered among the top 5 innings to have been ever played in the history of Test cricket. And the history of Test cricket is quite big. It's nearly 200 years old. And a player of that stature, a player of that skills, that prodigious talent had been dropped. In a couple of interviews later, Laxman goes on to say that that was possibly the lowest point in his life. So low he felt that he decided he would give up cricket. In 2002, a few months back, he had been declared as the Wisden Cricketer of the Year. Imagine, in the whole world of cricket, the top person, the most important person, the most pivotal person of that year was VVS Laxman. And yet, fate had delivered this blow to him. His family, his friends, his relatives, his close people, those who genuinely cared for him, came to prop him up and pull him out of this low. In fact, it's in such times that we realize who our true friends and family are. Because that is the time when those who genuinely care for us come and stand for us. But all of this was of no avail, and Laxman had firmly decided that he would quit and end his career. And that was when a trip to Puttaparthi happened. VVS Laxman was born into a family of God-devoted and God-loving people. From his early childhood, he had been a devotee of Shirdi Sai Baba, and he was religious in the learning of the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, it is his daily practice even to this day to chant the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which teaches, very interestingly, equanimity. Now, though he had heard of Shri Sathya Sai Baba and he had a great interest to meet Swami, his first meeting with Swami happened in the year 1997, and again, it was cricket that brought him to Swami. It's so beautiful when we understand his life. We realize that it is Swami who got him so bonded to cricket, and it is cricket that got him so bonded to Swami. In the year 1997, in December 30th to be precise, an international cricket match was to be held in the newly inaugurated Vidyagiri Stadium in Puttaparthi. A team consisting of the international 11 was to play a team consisting of the Indian 11 for the Shri Sathya Sai Unity Cup trophy. Well, that is a story in itself, and it brought many cricketers to Swami, including Gundappa Vishwanath, Sunil Gavaskar, Clive Lloyd, Alvin Kalicharan, Arjuna Ranatunga, Arvinda D. Silva, Sachin Tendulkar, so many, Rahul Dravid, and VVS Laxman also. Now, VVS Laxman wasn't playing in this match between International 11 and the India 11, but in order to test whether the stadium was worthy of an international match and whether the pitch was good, a match between the states of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka was held in that same ground before. And now VVS Laxman was part of the Andhra Pradesh team. And that is how he was invited to come to Puttaparthi. VVS Laxman was excited, no doubt, but by now he had already heard from his parents and from his other elder relatives how they would go to Puttaparthi and they would yearn to get one close darshan of Swami. And therefore he put forth his condition. He said, I will come and play in Puttaparthi only on the condition that Swami interacts with me and Swami closely gives me darshan. You know? Well, who can promise this? Only God can promise what Swami will give, because that's what it is. However, in order to ensure that Laxman comes and plays, he was promised. He was said, don't worry, Swami will give you close darshan. I think the organizers hoped that Swami would keep up the promise they are giving on his behalf. And that is how VVS Laxman came and played that match. In fact, he scored 50 runs in that match, and the stadium was proven to be good, perfect, wonderful to host an international level match. After that trial match, Swami gave interview to some of these players, and in that interview was present VVS Laxman. The first words Swami spoke even as he entered the interview room were, where is Laxman? Laxman? Laxman. Swami called out,
Firstly, seeing him so closely, and secondly, when he knew my name and he asked me. And at that time, I was going through tough times in my career because I was opening the batting for our country, and I was not doing so well. I was frequently being dropped from the team because people were branding me as a non-regular opener, even though I was trying to do my best. And I was in a dilemma. Shall I continue opening, or shall I stop opening and play in the middle order? And the first thing Baba told after when he talked to me was, I know there are a lot of clouds in your mind. There are a lot of clouds. It's just passing phase. It's only passing clouds.
It was that joy and that faith and that conviction that kept him going on and on despite multiple difficulties that he faced in cricket, in his career. He took the bold decision to drop away from the Indian national team and go back to playing state level cricket till a time would come where he could get to bat in the position that he was good at. And that is what had happened in 2001. He had been brought back into the Indian team in the late 2000, and in 2001 he played an innings of such magnificent, such marvel. I remember as a college student in Swami's Brindavan hostel, I was sitting, and along with all of us, we were glued to the television set watching Laxman play a miraculous innings. Unbelievable. What joy, what thrill. For 5 days after that, we were talking about that match and feeling joy surging within, After that, Laxman had arrived. He was considered as the ultimate, and as I said, he had won the Wisden Cricket of the Year. And now, he was not there in the team once again, and this was something he could not digest. He didn't have it in him to continue to persevere and to go on again and go to the grind and do this whole thing again, because he realized that even after reaching the pinnacle in one moment, he can just fall. All the Bhagavad Gita that he had learned was now being put to test, and he was unable to bear it. And that is when he decided, I'll just visit Puttaparthi. And Swami called him. Just looking at Swami, that's it. Swami waved his hand, created vibhuti, gave it to him.
He knew exactly what I was going through. And since then, I feel he's guiding me. And there is no question that whatever I have achieved is because of Baba's wish. And I feel really blessed that I've experienced Baba's blessing so many times in my career.
If we look at Laxman's career after this interview, it suddenly launched back. He was in the Indian cricket team to travel to Australia, and in a matter of 1 week, 7 days, Laxman hit 3 centuries in a one-day series in the January of 2004. It is there in history for all to see. You can understand the significance when you see that in his entire one-day international career, Laxman has scored 6 centuries. And of those 6 centuries, those 3 centuries came in 1 week after this interview with Swami. Back on the pedestal, he was again the hero, but this time VVS Laxman was much more mature. He brought into his life the practice of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is nothing but a manual for playing the game of life. And through the game of cricket, he understood the most important quality or virtue needed to play the game of life: equanimity. Not feeling dejected when things are not going as per plan, and not feeling elated when things fall perfectly in place. Realizing that I am just a puppet. The master puppeteer, the director of the drama is he. He is the one who is conducting the entire match, and I just have to do my best. That is why Laxman openly confesses that it is the blessings of Swami that has made him reach where he is. Interestingly, his full name VVS Laxman, it is interpreted as Very Very Special Laxman, but in reality it is Vangipurapu Venkata Sai Laxman. The S, which people think stands for special, is an S that stands for Sai. And Laxman says that is the reason why he is special, because of Sai. Swami's guidance to Laxman didn't stop with the game of cricket. It continued in the game of life as well. Swami blessed his marriage with Sailaja, and later Swami also named both his children. In fact, in one of the early interviews, when Swami was speaking to this couple, the wife told Swami that Laxman wanted to focus entirely on his career and therefore didn't want to have children. And then Swami said, "No, you must now have children, and I will bless you with 2 children, a boy and a girl." The next year, the couple were back at Swami's lotus feet seeking a name for their newly born baby boy. Very interestingly, Swami named that boy Sarvajit, meaning complete and absolute victory. Interestingly, that was also the name of the year, the Samvatsara. Sarvajit Nama Samvatsara. Just like Swami is born in Akshaya Samvatsara, this baby boy was born in the Sarvajit Samvatsara. A few years later, they had a baby girl, and while passing by Laxman, Swami named the baby girl as Achintya, one without worries. Even to this day, Laxman continues to bat excellently in the game of life, and guiding him throughout is his Swami. When I heard this beautiful story from the man himself, it humbled me and I felt extremely blessed. I realized that no matter how popular, how famous, how wealthy, how powerful, how influential a person is, ultimately for peace, contentment, joy, and to lift them out of the morass of dejection, everybody needs Swami. And we, how lucky we are that we have got Swami in charge of our lives. May we never ever forget that blessing. May we always remember that blessing as we go about playing our own games of life. Dear Swami, may we never ever forget this. We love you so much, and may our love for you keep growing every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.